Okay, so we wrapped up the first three parts of our fourth project in the last video, where we sort of arrived at the stage where we had the payment for our construction company's amortized loan, which is sitting on the board behind me. So I've gone ahead and gathered up some other relevant parameters that we're going to need because this last problem part kind of breaks into two stages. So it looks an awful lot like that very final example from our notes on section 6.5, where somebody can suddenly, make higher payments and they want to figure out how long it's going to take to pay off the loan in question, given this accelerated payment schedule. Now, in that example in the notes, the unpaid balance was actually worked out for us. This time around, we actually need to do the number crunching ourselves. So the idea, we're still using that same periodic interest rate of 0.0065. The overall payment period is still 180 months in total, but the idea is our company is expecting to be able to double the payments 2 years down the line. So that's 24 months worth of payments. So now we've got all of the relevant values we need to feed into our unpaid balance formula. So that would look like a sub n minus k in this instance. And so we have 42, 78, 85. Top side, we end up with 1 minus 1.0065 to the negative 180 minus 24. I've got so many parentheses flying around at this stage. I apologize. Anyway, so again, it's more or less just a sort of pound it all through your calculator, or you could get Excel to do this for you as well, but not automatically with the setups that I've provided. You have to play around with it a bit. Anyway, when you work through all of the calculations here, to the nearest penny, the unpaid balance that I end up with is 418,697.12. So after 2 years of payments, that's what we're looking at in terms of how much we need to pay off. Okay, so there's our unpaid balance. Now we're basically in the setting of that particular problem from the notes, where now we need to figure out how many payments it's going to take to, eradicate this balance. So now we want to find n in, that you can either look at it as the unpaid balance formula, or you can treat it like an annuity and use the present value formula to figure out n, one way or another. So now that's our a sub n minus k. Our payments are now going to be double this guy. And if I'm doing my arithmetic right, when I double that, I get 85, 57, 70. So we've got that guy. I is the same, and now n is our unknown in this instance. So give me a moment to erase some stuff here, and then we'll see exactly how the rest of this calculation checks out. Okay, hopefully your seatbelts are fastened at this point, because we've got some digging in to do at this point. This is another one of those find n. It's in an exponent. Need to use a log. That means we've got to get the exponential piece by itself first. So again, if you followed along with what happened in the section 6.5 notes, this is a pretty familiar process at this stage. All right, so we got to get this sucker by his lonesome here. So usual routine, that needs to go away. Anything I do to one side, I have to do the other. Great, that's gone. Okay, from here, I need to get rid of this thing. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 0.065. That would take care of that. I'm short on space here, so I'll just kind of put it right there. All right, so we're working to get this thing by itself. When I pound out all the arithmetic here, I got 0.318, 0213, and some more stuff. Again, I don't round these things off, but I keep everything in my calculator and execute it, all of the accuracy. If you're rounding, be very careful. Keep more decimal places than you think you need. These things can be a little fragile. All right, so let's see, 1 minus 1.0065 to the negative n. Same kind of routine that we've seen before. I've got to subtract 1 from both sides of this thing, so that gets rid of the 1. So, yes, I'm going to write the -1 right there. So this thing would end up giving me a negative 0.6. You get the idea. All right. So then I'm going to need to divide. I mean, you could technically multiply, but yeah, same deal. So that becomes a plus. That goes away. And now this whole thing is divided by -1. When I work that out, I get 0.6819787. Again, I'm rounding for the sake of the board, but 1.0065 to the negative n. Awesome. Here's where the logarithm comes in. So we take a log. So 6819787 equals ln 1.0065 to the negative n. So again, we've done this enough now, starting from back in chapter 5. This minus n can hop out front as a coefficient. So we've got that guy. Now n is the thing we're after. We just need to get it by itself via division. All right, that leaves us at the bitter end of this thing. Well, not quite the bitter. Hopefully it's not bitter. I'm not bitter. Hopefully you're not either. But anyway, so we have ln of this guy right here, 6819787. And again, if you wanted to do this in 2 separate stages, you could, but I'm just going to go ahead and divide by negative natural log of the 1.0065 there. All right, so when I do that, now at this point you can round, basically to the nearest integer, I guess, but you actually always want to round up, right? If there's anything left over, that's still something our company's going to have to pay off, right? So I got 59.08 payments. So again, remember this is a monthly thing, so we need a little more than 59 months, so 60 months would be like 5 years, right? So keep in mind, this isn't the total amount of time they've spent paying on the loan. This is how long they pay at that accelerated rate, right? So looking back, how many months worth of payments did they make at the original monthly payment scale? 2 years. So we've got 2 years worth of payments before that, and then another 5. So when it's all said and done, 7 years worth of payments in total have to happen before it's all said and done. So that's all of the calculations. So neat. All right, what does that leave for us? Bear with me for just a sec, because I don't want you to get distracted by all the fancy writing sitting here behind me. Feels better with all that, without all that scribbling behind us, right? Okay, here's what I wanted to talk about to bring this whole thing home. So we've done all of the calculations at this stage, right? There's nothing left, which often ends up leaving students asking, why are we doing this for the project? So here's the deal. A big part of this course is most of you are planning on going into some sort of business, type job when you're done here. Yes, that's the plan. Okay, so these projects probably are the bit of this course that looks most like what you're going to be doing in a workplace environment rather than sitting in a math class. So we've got all the calculations. That's awesome. Unfortunately, if all you do is copy down these lines of calculation that have filled up this board for the last 20 minutes worth of video time, that's not something your boss is going to want to see. You're writing this up as a report. So keep that in mind as you do this. It's important to describe your process, so like a supervisor, or in this case, you're probably more like a consultant, working with this construction company. So the people in charge of this construction company can make sense of what you're doing. So don't write this up like you're telling a math teacher about what's going on. Write it up like a report, like you would expect to hand in to a prospective client if you're working for some kind of consulting company. That's why describing how you actually figure out where those two equations are equal to each other, in terms of do I use Excel, do I use my calculator, do I use Desmos, whatever, that part's important. If you end up using Excel to figure out the amortized loan payment, describing how they do that is important, but don't just feel like you're obligated to describe to me each step of the algebra. Again, the people at the construction company probably don't care all that intensely about this is how I got this thing by itself. I divided by, the leading term. I multiplied by what was in the denominator. That's not the point here. The point is write this up like a report to a prospective client. So this is, don't think of it so much as a math paper. You've probably talked about this in courses before. Consider your audience. Your audience is not a math teacher in this instance. Okay, so with that being said, feel free to reach out to the folks in the Writing Center for assistance on how to write this up. I do expect to see some equations in this. Don't just, ignore all of that. But you should, write this from the perspective of I'm telling a client what they should be doing, not I'm telling Professor Carroll, how he did all of the stuff he just did on the board. For what it's worth, I know. I just did it, right? Okay, so that's it. Project 4, pretty much taken care of. Your score on this project really does depend on the quality of this write-up. So put some effort into it, but the heavy lifting, so to speak, is already done. It's up to you just to get it written up in a good, solid report. All right, good luck.